And now, Signature Dish, a WETA original series.
Today on Signature Dish, we're on a savory journey across South America. We'll first fire up the coals.
This is the queen of the Brazilian barbecue, the picanha.
That's just pure bonus flavor. Enjoy the bounty of the sea. My goodness, what are we looking at right here?
We're looking at a tuna, 88 pounds. We brought it in this morning.
Wow. And dig into a Bolivian behemoth. Is that a rock?
Yes.
All right, I've seen it all now. This is meat and potatoes at its finest. I'm Seth Tillman, WETA producer and DC native, and I love good food. That's why I'm traveling to restaurants across the DMV. At each stop, looking for the one thing you just gotta try. That signature dish. My first stop is a pit stop in Rockville, Maryland, in a truck parked just off Route 355. I'm following my nose to Fire Pit Brazilian BBQ, which is delivering all the flavors of a great Brazilian steakhouse to customers on the go.
I'm from Porto Alegre. Porto Alegre is the barbecue place in Brazil. We're in the south of Brazil. We make border with Argentina and Uruguay, so we are also called gauchos. So for us gauchos, it's common that we learn barbecue from little kids. So I already had a background from my father, my grandfather, uncles. The Brazilian barbecue is famous here in America on the concept of the big chain Brazilian steakhouses, but we are different. I do want to provide the opportunity for people to enjoy and experience the real gaucho barbecue, but as a more affordable and quicker concept. Fire Pit is a family business. Me, my mom, my aunt, we run it. My wife, she cooks all the side dishes and everything. Even the kids, they love to be around. So when they're bored, they say, oh, let's go to Fire Pit and hang out with Dad a little bit. Most of food trucks, they move around. We opted to be stationary so people know where we are and the specific times that we operate. We're right by the traffic light, and when people have their windows down, they smell, they see the smoke, they see the fire, and they smell it. They make a U-turn and stop by to see what's going on because, you know, it smells so good that they want to try it. When they try it, they always come back.
Chef.
Hey, Seth.
Good to meet you.
Likewise.
Well, it's a little chilly, but I'm excited to be outside. Love the idea of taking the Brazilian steakhouse on the road. And what is this cut of meat that we're looking at right here?
This is the queen of the Brazilian barbecue, the picanha. It's a part of the cattle that's on top, on the rear section, so it doesn't do any work.
Hence all the fat.
Exactly. And it gives the special flavor of the picanha.
All right. So how do you get this prepared for the barbecue?
So if we flip it around, we can see that we have some excess fat here and some silver skin. We can go ahead and start taking those off. So taking the excess of fat here on the sides.
That's a really nice white creamy fat there.
That's what we look for.
And so why do you think it is the Brazilians just fell in love with this particular cut of meat?
Because we discovered it. It's in every single cow, but we found it and it became popular in Brazil. And also the Portuguese people took it from Brazil to Europe, and then it became so popular in Europe. Now, the last few years, it became very popular in the United States as well. All right, so let me take this extra fat here and silver skin, and what we're gonna do, we're gonna cut it into steaks across the grains.
All right.
So we go ahead and cut it like this.
And there's a decent amount of marbling in that.
It is.
More than I expected to see.
There is, yes, there is. So now we have all the steaks cut that we want on this picanha. So we like the fat, but not as much.
Are there some people who don't like to see any fat on their picanha?
Unfortunately. But, you know, we have to respect.
Okay.
But I think you lose some of the...
It breaks your heart a little bit?
It does.
Okay.
Let me go ahead and discard this extra fat so we can season it.
And what are you seasoning it with?
It's just sea salt.
That's it?
Yeah, in Portuguese we call it sal grosso. And we want to go ahead and put a good amount all around.
Yeah, nice little crust right there.
All the sides, yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and trim and season the rest of these.
All right, just an explosion of salt and meat. Those are beautiful steaks, Chef.
Thank you. So why don't you go ahead and follow me so we can put it on the grill?
Let's do it. All right. This is a good spot to be on a cold day, Chef.
Oh, yes, it is.
And I see you got some more that are already seasoned up and ready to go.
Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and get the steaks that we prepared and put it over here.
And these baskets will allow you to get nice and close to the flames.
Yeah. So we can go ahead and move these over here now. So we do want the Maillard reaction to happen so we can get all the flavor that we need
Got it.
for the best picanha.
What do you do to keep the coals a nice, consistent temperature?
So I have my blower here, which you know, helps getting oxygen into the coals so we can make sure the ash is not suffocating our flames. So the fire is nice and hot, nice and strong. So at this point, we're gonna have some flames coming up.
Oh, yeah.
We want flames, but not too much. So I have my water spray here just to control the flames so it doesn't burn.
And Chef, the one thing that this Brazilian barbecue is missing are swords. Why do you choose to use the baskets?
So I don't puncture holes on my steaks, because that's a point to release the juice from the meat.
And we do not want that. We want the juice to stay inside the meat.
And that's why we sear it.
No marketing gimmicks here, Chef.
I flip because we don't want to burn. So let's get started on the other side, and then we flip it back so we can finish off. You can see that I don't use a tongue, so yeah. I like to touch the meat. So you know, touching, I'm able to tell the temperature. Oh, you see, this is the crust that we're looking for. See?
Oh, wow.
The caramelization from the sugars inside of the meat. Yeah, so now we're gonna stand up. So you wanna sear the fat as well. See? We like fat, but the fat has to be cooked as well.
And I like the way the fat is just dripping onto the coals and just feeding that fire right there.
Yeah, and that smoke means flavor to the meat.
Of course. Does your family make you do all the barbecuing for family functions
always,
as well?
Always.
You never get a break?
Yeah, no, I don't. When you hear about barbecue, family, friends, church, events, you know, it's all about geek cooking the meat.
Clearly better you than me.
Now that these have a nice crust, we're gonna go ahead and slice them off with the grain now, so we can finish it off on the grill to be ready to serve. So we can have that nice crust on both sides. So we'll go ahead and serve them along with our authentic Brazilian side dishes that we offer.
All right, Chef, this is a family affair you got going. You weren't
Correct.
joking.
So yeah, here's my wife, Fabi. She cooks all the dishes, the side dishes, and helps me run the business. My sons, Anthony and Benjamin.
Aspiring gauchos?
Yeah, and the kids love to be around. They're already learning.
Why would you not want to be hanging around this spot? All right, well, I am excited to try some picanha. Wow, I love that. The meat is so juicy, and that fat, it just melts in your mouth. There's no sinew, there's nothing you have to kind of bite through. That's just pure bonus flavor. And I love the crust that this got on as well.
Yeah, so the crust gives that explosion of taste, right? The Maillard reaction gives the flavor mixed with the smoke from the coals. So that's why it's so important to get the fire on the right temperature.
And is there a little dipping sauce here as well?
Oh yeah, that's our signature sauce, the pit sauce.
It's a homemade mayonnaise. It's lots of cilantro, garlic, vinegar, and a little extra stuff.
Not that there's any spice to this, but a little cool, refreshing dip to put the meat in as well. That's really nice. And are the rest of these sides, these are things that you would find typically with Brazilian barbecue?
Yeah, everything is made by us from scratch.
Please serve yourself with the farofa. This is the most authentic Brazilian dish, and it has onions, bacon, lots of butter, and the cassava flour, which is very unique and gives a little crunch to your food. So we usually dip the meat on the farofa to get that crunch.
If there wasn't already enough of a crust on that meat, add a little extra with the cassava.
Yeah.
Wow, and that bacon fat comes through loud and clear. And you boys, you like hanging around with mom and dad and grandma and being able to taste this amazing food?
Yeah.
What's your favorite side dish?
It's the rice.
Can't go wrong with the rice. And Anthony, what about you?
The farofa.
Farofa, okay.
Well, mine is the potato salad.
So there's something for everybody here on the table.
Right.
You guys, you think one day you might want to be working the grill?
Yeah. I already know a lot, but I know there's always stuff that you can learn, especially when like my dad's cooking on the grill all the time. So
There's always more secrets you can learn in the world of grilling. Well, I'm just super excited to finally have a food truck on the show and see what can be done in a small space, but clearly using a lot of passion, a lot of love for what you do.
And we are so proud to be the first food truck you guys ever featured.
And hopefully not the last.
Not the last.
Right.
Thanks, guys. Really appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
Having had my fill of meat, I'm off to Arlington to try something a bit lighter. I'm checking out Inca Social, which offers a sleek, modern take on Peruvian favorites.
Bueno, en Inca Social tratamos de mantener la cocina tradicional peruana, pero también podemos incorporar insumos o técnicas modernas.
That's what makes Peruvian food so great is you can mix it up so many different ways. You can take a dish, a ceviche, we have a variety of ceviches. It's not just one simple classic dish, right? We want to be a little bit different. So we're just always experimenting.
At Inca Social, the colorful dishes are matched by the decor.
We wanted you to come, look around, have fun, like feel energy. I'm big on energy. We want it to be something different, something new, something exciting. We wanted to show our Peruvian food in its authenticity and something, wow, this is so cool, something different.
Cuando llegan a Inca Social, lo que buscamos es que viajen a Perú, que sea una embajada. Entonces, buscamos que tengan una experiencia desde el ingreso, el poder atenderlos y contarles un poco más de nuestra historia, dentro del ceviche, dentro de un lomo saltado, como un ají de gallina, como también hoy por hoy la cocina fusión, mediante nigiris, sushis. Es lo que buscamos para que se puedan llevar una bonita experiencia. Cuando viajen a Perú puedan decir, oh, wow, Inca Social también es Perú.
Chef, good to meet you. ¿Qué tal?
Mucho gusto.
Mucho gusto. Hey,
you doing?
Tito, pleasure. I'm doing pretty well, and I walked in and I saw something that I have not seen on the show before. Wow, what are we looking at right here?
We're looking at a tuna, 88 pounds. We brought it in this morning, and this is what we're gonna use to make our nikkei ceviche.
All right, well, I love ceviche. I'm not sure I've had nikkei ceviche, though. What is that?
Oh, el ceviche nikkei viene mucho de la influencia peruana-japonesa. Una buena parte de japoneses llegaron al Perú y ellos trajeron su cultura, el sashimi, nigiri, y entre ellos nosotros con el ceviche.
And I mean, Peruvian cuisine in general, it's all about that fusion of different cultures, right?
Yeah, that's one of the things that makes Peruvian cuisine great is you have a little bit of flavor of everything too mixed in.
So this is a ceviche with a little bit of Japanese influence. And I mean, my goodness, how do you even begin to attack this thing?
Iniciamos. Lo que más que nada usamos es la parte del lomo para poder usar para ceviches, tiraditos. La parte de la panza usamos más que nada para comidas calientes, como algunos saltados entre ellos. Entonces, lo que vamos a utilizar es una cuarta parte de nuestro tuna, que es nuestro lomo, es la parte más preciada de nuestro atún.
And there is something to be said for working from a whole animal too, right?
Well, this is the best way to get the best flavor, and you get to pick the best part of the fish too.
Nice,
That chef is showing you right now.
Ok, ya acabé
Oh,
y vamos a empezar. Sí.
Delicious.
That color. After Michael separates the loin, he continues to trim the tuna, cutting it into small cubes and seasoning with salt and pepper.
Esto lo vamos a reservar y ahora lo que vamos a hacer es nuestra leche de tigre.
Ah, there you go, sir.
Vamos a agarrar 2 dientes de ajos.
And the leche de tigre, I mean, this is any ceviche has got to have the leche de tigre. See?
Yeah, every ceviche, it's Peruvian's gotta have leche de tigre. This is a little different version.
Y vamos a tratar de introducir un poco la salsa oriental como oyster sauce, la soy sauce, entre otras cosas. Este es el ají limo, es el ají que usamos para todos nuestros ceviches. Es lo que te va a hacer transmitir ir al Perú, del aroma. Sí. Vamos a frotar un poco y lo vamos a dejar. Vamos a exprimir unos 4 a 5 limones.
And there's a few peppers that are just kind of uniquely Peruvian, right?
That's one of the 3 main peppers in Peru. We want to make sure, even though it's Japanese influence, we keep our Peruvian flavors in there. That's a good way to do it.
All right, so you got some fish going in the leche de tigre as well?
Sí, lo que pasa es que nuestra leche tigre tradicional siempre es con pescado blanco. Podemos usar cualquier tipo de pescado blanco.
That gives it the more Peruvian flavor as well.
Lo que estamos haciendo es golpear para que puedan tener todos los sabores de los ingredientes. Y vamos a ir incorporando ahora nuestra salsa de soya. Ahora lo que vamos a incorporar es el ginger, pero el ginger encurtido.
There's a lot of Japanese ingredients. With the ingredients now assembled, Chef Michael blends and strains the leche de tigre, which will be reserved and poured tableside. He then builds the finished dish, incorporating a mix of Asian and traditional Peruvian ceviche garnishes. All right, guys, there's so many beautiful colors in this dish, on this table, and in the drinks as well.
Yeah, no, we have our classic pisco sour. We have some fusion styles. Our chicha sour made with chicha morada, and the maracuyá sour, which is passion fruit. And then even on the top of the pisco sour, we have the alpaca, which is iconic animal for Peru.
Love an alpaca. Salud.
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 Refreshing, right?
That's a refreshing, unique sip right there. All right, well, I'm ready to dig in here.
We are, but the most important step, the leche de tigre.
Ah, yes. The tuna did not need to marinate before?
No, so the tuna, you can eat it pretty much raw, but we want at least like about 30 seconds and you have a nice flavor to it too.
I know it's important to have fresh fish when it comes to ceviche, and I have no doubt about how fresh this tuna is. Wow.
What are you thinking?
Oh, I'm thinking there is a blast of flavor there. Freshest tuna imaginable. Nice sort of citrus, soy sauce notes in that leche de tigre, but it's not blasting you with heat. Nice little balanced bite right there.
Lo que hemos tratado más que nada es poder mantener los sabores tradicionales del Perú, como el ají limo, con un poco de su leche tigre, limón, con el equilibrio, obteniendo este pescado que es un buen porcentaje de grasa, que es la tuna, aprovechar la frescura y poder encontrar esos sabores.
And I also like how, besides all the Japanese influence, some of the stuff I am more familiar with the traditional ceviches, the corn, the concha, some of those elements still in place.
We always have a canchita, which is very popular in Peru, and it kind of goes with every ceviche. And then maíz, the corn, the big maíz, it always absorbs the flavor too. So people love that.
And I'm loving this colorful fusion here, and even just the vibe of this place. This just seems like a fun spot.
And that's what we were trying to do when we created Inca Social. So you come in here, it's not just the food's colorful, but all around you, just full of energy, great music, great colors.
Well, thank you guys for keeping the Peruvian party going here in Arlington. This is great.
We got to finish it with a cheers, you know?
Hey,
Salud.
one more time. Salud. My last stop is Wheaton, the Montgomery County neighborhood that is a mecca for great international cuisine. I'm paying a visit to Kantutas, a restaurant named for the national flower of Bolivia. Kantutas specializes in the cuisine of Cochabamba, a sprawling Bolivian city that lies in a valley in the center of the mountainous, landlocked country. The restaurant is run by brother and sister team Maria and Fernando Paredo.
Cochabamba is the paradise for the Bolivia. It's the heart. Everybody say in Cochabamba, everybody live for eat.
So Cochabamba is very popular for the food. So the other cities from Bolivia, like La Paz, Santa Cruz, a lot of people come on the weekends and the holidays just for food. We want to explore the food, the same ingredients to Cochabamba.
Bolivian dishes are also famous for their generous portion sizes, none more so than the signature dish of Cochabamba.
We have a lot of people not from Bolivia, and when they asking, hey, what you recommend me? So the first word is silpancho. It's meat, eggs, rice, whole potato, and Bolivian pico de gallo. And the people love it.
And then the portion is not a little one. If we have put a little one, so no, that is no silpancho. The silpancho is really big. Just when they say, I can't finish, and then when we put on the table, okay, you want the bags? And then the box is empty because they finish. The food is delicious.
Maria, nice to meet you.
Hi, nice to meet you.
I am excited to try some Bolivian food today. What are you making?
I make the #1 dish for Bolivia, city Cochabamba. The name is silpancho.
Silpancho, all right. So there's gonna be some meat involved. And what are these peppers for in the dish?
This is the magic spice in my restaurant. The name is llajua.
Llajua, all right. Well,
Llajua.
am I saying that right, llajua?
Llajua,
all right,
exactly.
Well, so this is the Bolivian
Yes.
version of hot sauce.
Hot
All right. So you're gonna blend this up?
Sure. We can start with jalapeno.
There's a lot of spice going
Yeah.
on in this dish.
Habanero, chile serrano. This is escallion, green onion, cilantro.
It's a colorful salsa.
Okay. This is need the water. So now the llajua is ready. So now we focus on the meat, okay?
So this is beef, obviously, right here. Looks like you've pounded these nice and thin.
We slide the meat, but we need to make a more of a bigger one.
All right.
It's silpancho. So we need a little bit of condiment. This is the mustard, white pepper, a little bit salt. Front and back, all right? That's it. Just we need to put like a first in here.
These are
Little
just
bit,
like seasoned
yes.
breadcrumbs?
Yes, this is seasoned breadcrumbs. So we put one piece in. Then we put a little bit like this. Cover. Okay, we start.
Is that a rock?
Yes, yes.
All right, I've seen it all now. Pounding steak with a rock. So this is really working the breadcrumbs
Yes.
into the steak. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
More.
Can I try my hand at this, Maria?
Sure, absolutely. Go ahead.
All right, thinking about a few of my enemies here while I do this.
Okay. Good. Yeah.
I think I could probably just spend the rest of the day doing this.
It's not enough. More bigger.
Wow.
Yeah. Good job.
Will you hire me?
Maybe my next employee.
All right, is there
Good,
still
good.
more work left to be done?
It's not enough.
Not
Just we
enough.
need continuing because this is need to stay very slight.
All right,
very,
I'll
very
let you finish the magic here. We're making a mess and we're having some fun.
Okay. Now, it's good size. The meat is ready.
That is a
Yeah?
sizable cut for the silpancho right there.
Now we put the meat on the fry. We cook potatoes. We fry the 3 eggs, rice. And then serve it with pico de gallo on the top, on the side with llajua.
All right, there's hearty portions and then there's hearty portions. I don't even know how to begin here.
You can start whatever, but just the most important, taste the llajua and the salsa golf. Let me show you how you put in your plate, in your silpancho, okay?
So this is just another layer of flavor on top of this.
Yes.
Don't be shy.
Da,
Oh, there
yes.
you go. Is that good?
Don't nervous, you need finish, please.
All right, let me give this a shot. Oh, nice runny egg on top. I can tell this is gonna be good.
It's good?
Oh, that is dynamite. So many textures at play, and we really work those seasonings in well, Maria. There's a nice little crust. This is meat and potatoes at its finest. But I gotta take the
Yeah.
spice to the next level here
Okay.
with this silahua.
Yeah, put a little bit first.
Be careful. Okay,
Yeah?
up.
Yeah.
I can tell, Fernando, I can tell you're eyeing like I'm making a mistake here. That llajua definitely packs a little bit of a punch. Kind of wakes you right up. And is this drink, it's gonna cool me right back down?
So that's mogochinchi, and it's very, very popular in Cochabamba.
That is nice and refreshing. And these are some Bolivian salteñas as well?
Yeah.
And does one just take a bite? Does it eat it with a hand, fork and knife, or what's the plan?
I recommend you can take first and the little one, the first part,
Little bite on
because
the edge.
sometimes it's very hard and juicy.
Good job.
Right?
Yeah.
Then you can take a spoon with the spoon.
And you
Yeah.
can eat inside.
Just
Yeah.
go in.
Yes,
It's a
like
little,
this.
oh, look at that.
There we go.
It's a little soup
Yes.
bowl right there.
There we go. Good job.
All right.
More spices, more flavors. These salteñas, the mocochinchi, this cochabamba and silpancho. It's all so good and such a generous portion. Definitely more than I can handle on my own.
You don't think you can finish all that, Seth?
What's that, Jordan?
I think you should try to finish the plate.
This entire plate of food.
The entire plate.
The silpancho is really big. Just when they say, I can't finish, they finish.
I'll see what I can do.
You do it. You do it.
All right, here we go.
Good job.
I did it.
Great job. But now, this is your dessert.
Feast is over. But this was absolutely wonderful. I'm gonna go home and take a nap now. Thank you both.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you. Thank you,
Anytime,
guys.
please.
To find out more about great food in the Washington metro area, visit weta.org/signature dish.